Hello everyone, how are you going? And welcome to the birth of Superman, something that most people probably go, oh of course he's just born on Krypton, but let's just see what these crazy Canucks even dreamt up.
Alright boys, I found us a publisher, so if we can solidify this character, we'll be good as gold. So the character's name is Superman. He's a superhero of some sort, I just don't know what sort of powers we should give him.
Maybe he has super strength, like he's incredibly strong.
Yep.
And he can
Infinitely
fly.
That's a good idea.
And unbreakable skin, like invulnerability.
Oh, well, that's maybe a little too much, but...
Oh no, she has absolutely no idea what she's in for. Then they only listed, what, 2 or 3 things, and his kind of more generic powers. Like, yes, super strength being infinitely strong is definitely a major advantage and one of Superman's greatest sticking points and selling points, but at the same time he has so many other things that there's no way you can just be going, oh, super strong and a couple of other things, oh, that's too much. But then actually just going back to the birth of Superman, it was interesting to hear her say, okay, so we've nailed down a publisher, and I remember that being a massive thing, that in the Heritage Minutes of Superman, the original illustrator was actually about to catch a train down to New York, I believe it was, so they could try and finalize a real publisher, and so obviously we just kind of jumped after that, and all of a sudden they're trying to dream up his powers.
Oh, well, that's maybe a little too much, but we can stick with those.
And super speed.
That could be a separate character.
And super breath. Like he can make tornadoes with the power of his lungs.
I think you're going a little too far.
That's not all his breath can do. He can also freeze things with it, like super frost breath. And he can hear anything from space.
I have heard of that actually. From memory, it was something to do with his little sidekick guy that doesn't actually know who he is. His photographer mate. Wow, what is his name? Oh, I wasn't far off. I was thinking Timmy, but it was Jimmy Olsen. Yes, of course. But yeah, I believe it was something to do with his distress beacon was heard, which is an audible, like a speaker distress beacon that only Superman can hear, was heard over the other side of the universe, and Superman made it back to Earth in like a minute or something ridiculous. But look, even I'm just learning a few of his different powers, you know, and I don't know if they're covering different eras between Golden Age and Flashpoint and all these different ones, but I've never heard the fact that he can create tornadoes with his breath. I mean, I feel as though we all would have seen him freeze things, but tornadoes? Like, that's a completely different thing. How do you spin that much wind? That's very, very impressive, but I guess he is Superman.
That seems like a lot.
And he can bend light with his eyes at will.
What does that mean?
What?
Oh,
Yeah.
like laser vision, X-ray vision, telescopic vision, microscopic vision, infrared, sepia.
All right, let's
Wait,
say...
I need to listen to that again because I've never really just, I don't know, digested how many things he actually can do with just light alone.
Like laser vision, X-ray vision, telescopic vision, microscopic vision, infrared, sepia.
All right.
Hang on a second, where does a sepia or sepia even come into it? I don't know if I've ever seen that, or I don't know if that would even be a superpower. Maybe that is just Golden Age, pre-digital, no, just pre-color TV. But like this guy, I was completely blown away by the fact that he said bending light to his will, and I guess that also encompasses just creating his eyes to be a photoreceptor for all wavelengths of light, it seems. But it really is ridiculous when you start to break down every single one of these powers. I mean, the entire thing with Superman is he's meant to be completely overpowered, but living a difficult life because he can't fit in. It's not his powers that he has to control, or no, he does have to control his powers, otherwise he just obliterates everything, but it's his ability to fit into this alien world that is his real struggle, and that's where the character development really lies, not the fact that he can just do anything. And what did I hear that once upon a time he could create powers if he needed? I mean, I feel as though over time there was no more need to create any more powers because he had everything he could ever need, but even that, he could create powers at a whim at one point.
All right. Let's say we go with this. With all this power, maybe he has a moral issue.
Nope, he can only tell the truth. He never lies, ever. And his brain can operate at the speed of a supercomputer because he has a flawless memory.
Why would he need that?
Because he's an expert in martial arts and he has to remember all those moves.
With all his power, why does he even need martial arts?
That is a great question, actually. Why does he need to be so proficient in martial arts if he can already basically move as fast as Flash, also be completely invulnerable, so it's not like he has to use his martial arts to bend other people's power around and then just direct it back at them, let alone the fact that he's a brilliant strategist and can just think at ridiculous speeds. Like, there really is nothing about him that you go, oh, that is the one thing, besides kryptonite, I guess. But actually, another thing that I have to add to the list of things that I did not know was the fact that he could not lie. Like, does that mean not lie at all? Surely he can fib. I don't know, he can joke around, but is that lying? I don't know.
I don't understand the question.
At least it has something to do with fighting, I guess. I thought you were going to go in a different direction.
Good idea. If his brain is that powerful, maybe he has a super heightened sense of smell and vocal abilities.
You mean like he can sing?
Yes, and he can raise his voice to the level of a loudspeaker. And he can access radio waves with his voice. And he can perform super ventriloquism.
When would that ever be used? No, let's just stick with super strength and the flying ideas.
I love and I hate her character because at the same time she's going, no, this is dumb, but then she's also not completely shutting him down and going, no, just gagging him and going, that's enough out of you. We don't need to hear any more superpowers. We get it. You know every single one in existence. This character doesn't need to have every single one in existence. And it really is every single one in existence because what did he say? He can pick up or detect radio waves with his voice? He can access radio waves with his voice. What does that possibly even mean? Because surely, I mean, I guess you're not going to hear radio waves because we only hear radio waves after they are converted into an acoustic wave, a sound wave. But then for it to be a vocal thing doesn't make sense. I'd go, okay, surely it's something to do with his eyes again. He can once again just see the entire EMR frequency range.
When would that ever be used? No, let's just stick with super strength and the flying ideas.
Good call. He can fly so fast that he can control the orbit of the Earth. And he can fly in space, to the sun. That's where he gets his power.
He can fly to the sun?
Yes, and Pluto in a matter of seconds.
Does he have a weakness?
Yes, rocks.
Oh, poor guy, when you put it that way, it really doesn't sound too good, does it? But rocks I mean, it's not just rocks, it is the core of his dying star, and so I feel as though if you took the core of Earth and you just put it next to someone, you probably wouldn't be looking too good either. I mean, to be fair, I do think there are a couple of things that make sense, you know, if you can control your flight like Superman does, which isn't really flying, it's basically like hovering and controlling all your momentum. You know, there is no air current and lift like a plane or a helicopter needs, he just goes where he needs to go, and so it makes sense that you can do that in space or on Earth, it doesn't matter. And then for him to be able to go to the sun to charge also makes a lot of sense. Just make sure it's not a red sun.
Does he have a weakness?
Yes, rocks.
Here we go.
Okay, I mean there are a lot of rocks, right?
From a planet 1,000,000 miles away. And the planet was destroyed.
No one is going to relate to this character. He's not even remotely human.
And he's not human.
What? How is he gonna blend in?
Maybe he grew up on a farm?
No, he has to have a secret identity.
Oh my goodness, maybe he grew up on a farm is one thing that is remotely human. Really, the amount of things that he just listed, and then to go rocks from a core of a destroyed planet that apparently all the bits just ended up on Earth. Like, I don't know how everyone always just ends up with so much kryptonite. I mean, to be fair, we do have the element Krypton on Earth, and so is kryptonite just Krypton from Krypton? Is that what kryptonite is? The core of Krypton is kryptonite? I really don't know. And I mean, look, if it was one of these grey fillers, I would absolutely be a bit more skeptical because we can barely find these, if not find them at all in nature, and so to just have that much just green, basically plutonium looking stuff just lying around in Batman's lair and Lex Luthor's lair, and all of it apparently just came from the core of their old planet, then I would certainly be questioning it. But to be fair, Krypton is only 36.
What? How is he gonna blend in?
Maybe he grew up on a farm?
No, he has to have a secret identity.
Okay, he wears glasses, and that's it.
Okay, so where does he live? United States, Europe, China, the Soviet Union?
You gave me another idea.
Oh boy.
He can learn any language he comes in contact with. And his costume is so colorful that he can blend in anywhere.
Okay, just for brainstorming, why don't we try something opposite of this guy? A superhero with no powers.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, are they about to just brainstorm Batman after brainstorming Superman? That is just ruthless. I mean, to be fair, like I've said, some of the powers that he has does make sense in terms of, okay, I guess you can learn a language if your brain is just a billion, trillion, million times faster than anyone else. It makes sense that you can just learn it as soon as you come across it. Why not? He has plenty of other things going his way. I can certainly accept that. The one thing I don't really accept is the fact that his costume is so brightly colored that he can blend in anywhere or he can fit in anywhere. Because in my brain image of Superman, he's just red and blue. And I mean, yeah, a little bit of yellow, but he is literally in all red and blue, so what is he talking about? He can just fit in. Look at this guy, he's like 200 kilos, 6'8" or something like that. I don't even know, but how are you going to blend in? Even if you were human, you wouldn't blend in, let alone when you wear this kind of getup and you can fly from the sun and back in 2 seconds.
Okay, just for brainstorming, why don't we try something opposite of this guy.
They do
A
Batman
superhero
on.
with no powers.
Yes, no powers.
Fine, no powers, no growing up on a farm, no colors on his costume, no sunlight,
It
no
is Batman.
parents, no happiness, no friends.
He's gotta have at least one friend.
Okay, a creepy butler named Alfred. And no rules, or actually one rule, but it can't match the rest of his personality.
Actually, I think this just might work. Not eccentric, relatable, human.
And these are all of his gadgets, like a grapple and a self-driving car and razor-sharp
Oh
boomerangs,
my
and-
goodness. Hang on a second. They did him dirty there until the very end when he went, hang on a second, he has the utility belt of anything imaginable. To be fair, they aren't completely wrong in terms of there are a whole bundle of juxtapositions between Batman and Superman. I do wonder, does that mean that Batman just continuously lies? Because I don't know if that's completely true. And to be fair, he did also say no parents, and yes, that's true about Batman, but it is also true about Superman. I feel as though that's one of his major things, is the fact that his entire planet and the rest of his entire race just got completely and utterly destroyed by an exploding star or something like that. But look, there is certainly no disputing the fact that Superman is, from a power sense of view, completely ridiculous. And yes, I had to give him one kind of nerf element where it goes, okay, what is the most ridiculous thing we can think of? A rock from a planet apparently a million miles away, but more like probably a million billion trillion miles away that doesn't even exist anymore, and that's his one and only weakness. Besides that, he is literally everything anyone could ever need. He is virtually untouchable unless he's dealing with some god and universe level threat, and then he's at least on par with them. But then I guess he just goes and sits in the sun for 10,000 years and just becomes completely untouchable. And so everyone agrees that Superman from a powers point of view is completely absurd, but that kind of ties into the whole thing of, okay, how does he control his powers? The responsibilities of the weight of how much power he really truly has, let alone just trying to fit into this paper and cardboard world that he is living in, where everything he can just touch he can break, from his friends and his families to his house and everything. When you were that invincible and strong but not naive about it, you really would feel quite tentative about what you do and how you use even the slightest touch, because you never know what could just break under your slightest touch. And if nothing else, you can't not admire what the birth of Superman has done for the entire world. It completely changed the course of comics and all those kind of things. It didn't really even exist prior to that. You know, he is generally thought of being one of the first, if not the first, comic book character, superhero, whatever you want to call it, of them all. And so look, even though there are a few things with Superman that just make you go, oh come on, surely he can't have everything. He's got the superpower utility belt of just being born with it, but at the same time there is a reason that he is stuck around for so long, and so you have to give credit where credit is due. Everyone that just dreamt him up from the first place is an absolute genius. But anyway, in saying that, I reckon I'm going to call it there. So thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, feel free to do the YouTube algorithmic things down below. Also, if this is your first video of mine that you are watching, then make sure to go check out any other ones I've done. Also make sure to go check out the original video down in the description below, or hey, maybe even just want to consider subscribing so that you don't miss another one of these in the future. But all in all, have a good one and see ya.